I was stressed out about school. I was stressed about, my image, the way I looked.
College applications.
And I remember I got home and I started hyperventilating and I was super worried. I called my mom. I was like, "No, Mom, please take me out, take me out, take me out. I don't want to do this. It's not gonna be fun. I'm gonna fail."
I was just feeling all these emotions. My emotions was take that. Throw a little bit of anger, like they're trying to make a stew.
They have a lot on their plates, these kids. They go to school all day. They have all these extracurriculars and homework on top of that. It's a lot.
So when we think about parents responding to their children when their children are stressed, that often what we see is a stress response in the parents as well.
Being a parent is probably the hardest job on the planet, and the first thing that you can do is take a breath and regulate yourself so that you can provide a neutral or calm environment for your child. That's gonna be a really amazing first step.
If I get stressed out, everyone in the house is stressed out. It's not intentional by any means. It's the energy that I throw out there.
I've taught preschool and I've had 12 students, all about knee-high, and I could handle all of them. But when it comes to one of your own children having a difficult situation, I used to react how my mom used to react. Very just trying to control it and fix the situation right away. And I get loud, but I'm learning now to just stay calm and be a listener.
So if your kid is feeling really stressed, the most important thing to do is to listen and to really try to take their perspective and show them that you understand that they feel that way.
Going in with curiosity will allow them to explain it for themselves and will make them feel seen and heard. Whatever they're feeling is okay, and if you want your child to communicate more with you, if you want them to feel comfortable sharing the ups and downs of their emotions, trying to take a validating and neutral stance will really encourage them to open up more, and they might even allow you to problem solve more than they might have before.
I was in the play 42nd Street. There was a lot of older kids that were very talented, they were super great. I tend to have a quiet voice, and it was hard to say things out, and it just made me feel embarrassed because those kids were so much better. I would go to the bathroom and I'd start crying, and my friend would come in and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, it's this is so stressful." And she's like, "You should go call your mom," and I did.
She would call me from play practice just crying and saying, "I just can't do it, I can't do it, come pick me up." And I would try to talk her through it. Okay, well, what is it? What's upsetting you? And she's just a ball of tears.
So my son is he's a perfectionist. He's also an athlete. He was chosen to be on the football all-star team. And he was given a playbook, big binder, maybe 2 inches thick. He opens up the playbook, feels overwhelmed, and he withdrew. He then started to get very anxious and upset. Then I started to get frustrated. My next emotion was frustration because it's such a simple thing to do if you just sit down and do it. But he had never actually sat down and studied the playbook before he reacted to it.
As a parent, it can be really challenging to see your child having a stress response, and it might bring up lots of feelings and thoughts and saying, as a parent, I can't handle this, I can't fix this, right? So one of the first things we can do is remind parents that sometimes the job is not to fix it. Sometimes the job is to help the child manage the situation or to feel better about the situation. So these are feelings that might rise in intensity, but if we can sit with them or take some deep breaths or talk about them, that often that anxiety can also start to go down.
We do meditation to where if they're having a problem or whatever and they're, going through something, we'll sit down and we'll have music on and we'll close our eyes and we'll just breathe.
I have to sit down with him and say, "Hey, let's turn the TV on," or if that's not helping distract you, let's turn it off. Can we just talk about it? Can we do some breathing together? I'll say, and he'll say, "Okay." And then we breathe together, and that really helps him.
Instead of trying to talk through it, I was like, let's just go to Target and let's just walk around and have a drink and a snack. And we did that for half an hour, 45 minutes.
Riding the wave of your emotion, feeling it come up and break and go down can be a helpful experience so that kids don't start to feel afraid of their emotions or like they can't experience them.
So really starting from that sense of what is happening currently, what's the actual threat here, and why is this child having this stress response? And that from there we can really think about encouraging or supporting that child as they deal with something challenging. So that can be helping your child with difficult feelings. And for them to recognize that these are feelings that occur like a wave. And that can be a really important learning opportunity, both for the kids, but also for the parents. It's a clear demonstration that the children and the parents can handle that situation because they just did.
It all worked out. We went and talked to the director, and the director said, well, you can just be in the numbers that you want to be in. It's fine. She was great.
I'm learning to also, too, make sure I don't try to be the fixer. I'm not going to solve every problem. Just like as adults, when we have an issue and you go talk to your girlfriend, and then you're done, and you still have the problem, but it's just good that you got that out.
He began to calm down and felt like, okay, maybe this is something that I can knock out. And then it became, I knocked it out. And I found that to be a really good early lesson, meeting my child where he is, empowering him to come up with solutions. He's got all of the ingredients for success. And we had to remind him of that. But we also had to give him a chance to come up with his own path, which he did with a little bit of help. And he made it out there onto the field with his teammates.